Hey guys, have you thought about who you want to write your letter to? I'm so glad you thought about it, and I know you've had many ideas to put on the paper. Well, we have an example today, and it says lesson 10, or chapter 10, lesson 95, page 175. And we're going to be getting ready to have a letter on drafting, just like we did when we wrote our paper, just like what we did when we wrote our how-to, and just like we did when we wrote the last one we just did on our book report. And we're going to write our draft to see what our story will be about. Well, just like in a letter, it's kind of like having a story, but except you're going to be writing something to thank someone about, to be grateful for. Now, here is the letter that has been written, that has already been put over here. Now, it says that Joel received a bike from his grandparents. This is on your page. And he wanted to write a letter to tell them how thankful he was. Joel asked himself a question to better his letter. And you see the picture of his grandparents. Here is how Joel answered his question. Who has been kind to you or done something for you? And he wrote, Grandma and Grandpa Gage. What did this person do for you? They gave me a new bike. Why does this make you thankful? My old one is too small, and I like it. He likes his new bike. So he decides to write a little bit of a letter, and he comes up with 269 Grant Street, Suffolk, Virginia, 23435. Dear Grandma and Grandpa, thank you for the new bike. I really like it. Last night, Dad took some pictures of me. We'll send you a picture soon. Please come for a visit. Love, Joel. Now, even though this is a really good letter, Joel made a few mistakes in it. And so right now, this is his draft, and he's got to fix some of those mistakes. So we'll be talking about some of the mistakes that he has made. And so let's look. It says, what did we do in the first steps of our letter writing? We planned the writing of a thank you letter. Who was our audience? To him, it was Grandma and Grandpa. You have to decide who your audience is. Okay, that is who you're writing it to. Drafting is writing the first copy and putting ideas down on paper in a form of a sentence. And in your packet, you'll notice that I sent you, you have two pieces of paper, writing papers. And one has draft on the top of it, the other has revise, and then you have the real beautiful one that you're going to be actually writing your final copy on. Now, we already talked about who it will be and who the greeting is. The greeting, this is the address part. But you'll notice there's a few things wrong with this address part. And I don't know if it's going to show it on the next one, but it's going to talk, yes, it's going to show it on the revise, the mistakes that they made. So right now, I just want you to notice that he has already written it, but he's got some things he's got to fix. Now, on the other side, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your paper. I don't have this up there. And it says Joel wrote a draft of his envelope. Remember that his address is the return address. And you're going to look at the address right here. Don't forget the return address is up on the top of the letter. It's on the top left-hand corner. If I were to draw one right now, just as a quick one, drawing a letter, right here, and I'm not going to write it in, but this is the return address. This is your address. This is the address that if this address is no good, they will send it back to you so the letter does not get lost. If you don't have your return address on it and the letter doesn't go to the place it should, or the person's moved or something happens, it'll just be destroyed. I know because my son is an engineer for the post office, and he said they just kick it out and they have to destroy it. So you want to make sure you put your return address. This part right here is the address that you have mailed it to. So it is the mailing address. Right here is called the mailing address. Okay? So it's really important that you make sure that you have who you want it to go to here. And you want your address up here. And don't forget, you need to write it exactly like it's written. When you look at your example It has Joel Jackson. Then it has 269 Grant Street. That's the second line. The third line is Suffolk, Virginia, 23435. There are 3 lines. Do not mix those different things up on the different lines. They are meant to be specifically for those things. The same way with this. You will be writing the name of who it is you're writing to. Then you will be writing their actual address, then the city and the state and the zip code. You must write them exactly on those lines. Do not join them together to conserve space or anything, because the postman will go, what? And they'll have to figure out what to do. Okay, then don't forget to put a stamp on it. And there are some stamps called forever stamps. Once you buy them, you can put them on there. But some you can buy and they're exactly the amount with the stamp. Sometimes if you put too many things in it, you have to put an extra stamp on for the weight. Now, and in packages, you write the same thing, but that you pay for according to the weight of your package. Now, on this, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be writing Joel Johnson's address here. Okay? Wait a second, it says write a draft of your envelope. Remember to write your address in your return. Okay, so this instead, sorry, is your practice one. So what you're going to do is write your address here on this practice envelope. Then you're going to write the address of the person you're sending your letter to, where the mailing part is. Make sure you get it correct and on the right lines. Down here, here's an example again of when you write your letter, where you're going to put your heading and what goes in the heading. Remember, the heading is the street address or the P.O. box, and the city, the state, and the zip code. And then when you wrote the letter, then you will skip a space, go down over here to the red line, or to whatever paper you're writing on. You go over to the margin. You write dear, and you put who you're writing to. This is dear Janet, and that's the greeting. But you can put dear grandma, grandpa, whoever you're writing to. Then you're going to write the body. You're going to write what you're thanking them for, or asking them about how things are going for them. Then you have the closing, where you're going to write either love, or your grandson, or your granddaughter, or or sincerely, whatever it is you're going to write. And then comma, and write your name. Karen is here. You would write your name, like I would write Diana, or Diana Touchton, or Mrs. Touchton. That's what I write on mine. So this is what you're going to be doing for your work in your lesson today. It's pretty simple, but it is really important that you make sure you write the correct things on the correct line. So make sure you reference what it shows you right here. And if you get confused about how to write here, you just look at this to write your address on that. And that's today's lesson. Pretty short, but it'll take a little bit of time. Please write neatly, because the postmen also want to be able to read what it is. They have a machine that actually sends a lot through, and when they send it through, if the machine can't read it, they have to kick it out, and somebody has to try to figure it out. So please write it neatly, make a little space in between each word, or street, or city, or country, or state, because they need to be able to tell what it is. If you write it all together and there's no commas or anything, they might not know what it is, and it might not get to that special person you're writing to. So I miss you, and I hope that you write an amazing letter, and we'll talk about what you'll do tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye-bye.